we have is Dead Prison Glaive, which already comes with a new keyword, which is Honorable Kill, which works whenever you you do exact damage to something in order to kill it, which I guess probably works on heroes too, but who cares, right? Like when your opponent's dead, they're dead, I guess. So yeah.
Yep.
1 mana, 1/3 weapon. Deal damage equal to your hero's attack to the enemy hero if you kill something exactly. Thoughts?
Uh,
Don't like it that much.
Wait, this is just a one-attack weapon?
Yeah, I feel like but if you make it up to 2 attack, if you hero power, you can kill a 2-drop and then also deal 2 damage to the opponent's face.
Or you can like buff it, I guess, with
Yeah, but the problem is if it has 2 attack and you buff this to, let's say you want to kill something that has 3 HP and you buff your stuff to 4, you're not gonna get this.
Mhm.
Or 3 health, I mean. So if you overkill something, it's not gonna work.
The problem I have is like the effect makes it you want to put this in like an aggressive deck, right? But the honorable kill keyword is kind of more control-y. Like you don't want to have to focus on killing your opponent's minions in order to deal face damage. Like if you're an aggro deck, you could just go face and it would be the same result, kind of.
Well, you get to protect your minions. That's the upside.
Yeah. But
Minions, weapons trade, minions go face, which is like usually what aggro decks do.
Sure.
So you use your own HP as a resource, but
in the early game, yeah.
I don't know.
But in the early game, it's also just a 1/3 weapon, basically.
Yeah, don't think it's that good either.
Yeah. I think it's like the 4th best Demon Hunter weapon, so whatever.
Yeah.
And
I'll
the
give it
3rd
one.
best at 1 mana, so yeah.
Yeah, I would also say it doesn't really see play, but I was also terribly wrong with the last weapon.
Which weapon? What was the last set?
The Brute DH weapon.
Yeah, the Brute DH weapon. Actually, yeah, I like that weapon before.
I thought this would be playable if there was no other 1 mana weapon, but you have 2, and I think those 2 are better than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have Battle-Worn Vanguard. We'll just do it so that everybody takes a class, and then does their thoughts on it first, I guess, and then we'll just alternate if that works for everybody.
Everyone does like a class?
No, like that we alternates whoever like reads out the card, says what it does, and gives the first thoughts.
Alright, sure.
So we have a Battle-Worn Vanguard. After your hero attacks, summon 2 1/1 Felving, so 2 mana 2/2. I mean, it's pretty tokeny. They have some more token support in the set, but I can't imagine this being super great unless the hero, like I'm not really sure how the hero works with the weapon attacks, but other than that, I don't feel like it's too amazing.
I think this card's pretty good.
I think this card's good. Really good as well.
Like, remember around the start of Demon Hunter, obviously, there's a lot more cards printed since then. That they had the 4/2 that summons a 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is arguably a lot better than that, I feel like. Yeah. And they're printing some more support for the aggressive stuff.
And that card was also pretty nutty with the Glaives, because you could attack several times in one turn.
True.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I guess the Glaives are 5 mana 3/3 weapon now. Just, I kind of feel like this wants you to play a weapon on 1, and then play this card on 2, and then it's like absolutely insane, right?
Yeah, so like the honorable kill weapon might be like playable.
Because of this card, yeah, maybe. But the Death Rattle weapon might still be better. I don't know.
There's also the True Aim Crescent.
Yeah, the problem with the True Aim Crescent that I had is that if you play this and attack into something, this might die. And then if this dies while you're attacking with a weapon, because this makes this minion attack the other minion you're attacking as well, then you have... then you don't get the effect out of it. And this might be like conflicting. But
Yeah, but you just go face, right?
Yeah,
So
I
it's
guess.
fine. I think it was good, like really good,
Yeah. I feel like
especially with the the support.
like there's some other cards in Demon Hunter that are pretty good aggro cards, and they're just being outshone right now by the combo cards. But if they are adding enough support, like Fellfire, Deadeye as well, stuff like that. I don't know.
But yeah, I the other demon card, hunter card that it's paired with, Flag Runner, or later we'll see, is I think that card's really good. I might that one I would put as like a sleeper. So
Which card
I
is
would
that
think
you're
this card would
talking
be
of?
good. Flag Runner, whenever a friendly minion dies, gain +1 attack.
We'll get to. Oh yeah, that's a really. I didn't think.
Oh.
I didn't wait. We'll go 2 cards forward. Whenever friendly minion dies, gain +1 attack. So if you curve this, you could have a 3 mana. Like 4/6 if all these minions die. And then Smorg. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more sold on the idea. Probably should have looked at all the cards.
The Flag Runner reminds me of the Warlock card, that 1/5 that
Yeah,
grew.
the 1/5 that grew. Yeah, exactly.
Whenever you summon a minion.
There's also a giant that looks pretty good for that deck.
At the end. Alright, okay, I guess this card could be pretty good. We could hack an archetype like this.
Yeah, it's a new archetype, right?
I mean, 4/4 stats for 2 mana, like splitting the bodies for the token synergy. It's just.
I guess it's pretty insane if you go weapon into this and then you have like Kreen on board, where like you have lots of payoff to bully other board centric decks. For example.
There was a card like this, a pirate that summoned 1 pirate when you attacked, and this summons 2 bodies.
Yeah, but the pirate was never played, right? It wasn't a good arena card, but it was never played in constructed. It's a 2 mana 2/2 that summoned a 1/1 pirate every time you attack. It was a neutral card, but it was never played.
Wait.
I think it was played with Ship's Cannon, but I might remember wrong.
There's a 2 mana 2/2 pirate that summoned a pirate.
And 1/1 pirate whenever you attack, yes. That card did exist. That was never truly played in Hearthstone, though. Like, not in good decks, at least.
Demon Hunter, right?
But yeah, I mean, this is obviously better because it's another one. I mean, imagine they had Rush. But okay, I guess then they would be OP.
I'm rating it a 3.
Yeah, same.
Same.
Okay,
next.
Now that I saw this card, I want to give the weapon a 2.
Yeah, same. But like, I still think that the other weapons are better.
I think the Crescent is probably still better, even though it has this like kind of counter synergy downside in potential cases. But it can also be an upside.
It depends on how smoky the deck is, because the damage from the weapon might be relevant.
Yeah, true.
Alright, next up, Field of Strife. Your minions have +1 attack, last 3 turns.
See, this card I just don't like at all.
I have such a hard time evaluating this because... And I'm like trying to think about cash-in cards like Savage Roar. But this obviously has less threat while it's setting in hand than Savage Roar. Like your board has to be less respected because it's only this 1 attack instead of the 3.
You can
I'm assuming
cast this at... Sorry.
Go for it.
I think you can cast this and then play minions, and the effect stays on your opponent's turn, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, I think so 3 turns means, what is that? What does 3 turns mean then? 3 of your own turns, right?
Until
Yeah.
your next. Yeah, I mean, until you reach your third turn.
Hmm.
So it basically lasts 5
From-
turns, kind of. If you count the opponent's turns as turns.
If you cast it when you have 3 mana crystals, then the effect stops when you reach 6, I think.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing about this card to me is the fact that it works so well with rush minions, like with rush tokens.
Mm.
So that's like the main difference between this and something like Savage Roar, is you can continue getting value with it.
Yeah.
He has like Coordinated Strike, and all these cards have always traditionally been ignored in Demon Hunter, right?
Yeah. Maybe it's not good enough for them to come back, but it helps out a lot.
Do we have anybody from Blizzard here that can, at the end of your third turn? Okay, so it's basically like 3 of my turns and 2 of my opponent's turn. Hey, Galen, by the way. It's good to have somebody that knows what they're talking about in here.
2 demon.
Let Galen do the review, and we listen.
I mean, yeah, like I said, against a control deck, this has a lot less threat because they usually just like they kind of chill, and then whenever you play your payoff card like this or like Savage Roar, they would kind of have to remove before this gets played, and because it has less threat, they can just make their big removal turn after you played this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it looks effect-wise pretty powerful though. If you have like a tokeny aggro deck with like the cards that we just looked at, that's a lot of damage, and with rush means a lot of trade potential.
I mean, even in your aggro deck, just having a raid leader that your opponent can't interact with for 3 turns seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think so too. Makes it a lot harder for them to trade your stuff as well.
It's
Okay,
a
yeah.
weird card. Like all of these stationy cards are strange to evaluate. I feel like haven't seen anything like them.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really the same as the 1/3 priest minion because the 1/3 priest minion does damage itself. Like, but yeah, you can't remove it. So you have to deal with every single minion in order to get rid of the effect. I think I put it as a 2 because I think, I mean, this requires more things to be able to work together than other cards by themselves. So I'm skeptical.
Yeah. Is there like good charged minions besides the neutral?
There's Kane, and then there's the 2-mana 2/2 that whenever you play Outcast card comes back to your hand, charge lifesteal. The Corvus Bloodthorn card. But I don't know. I don't know about that one.
There's not enough charge minions in the game for this to be relevant at all in that sense. But
I mean, it works as like Druid has this 1-mana card that they choose one card that they often play as +1 attack on your minions, and that's I mean that's immediately, but it costs 1 mana, but it only lasts for whatever stuff you have on board.
Yeah, I think this is a 2. I would give this a 2.
Damn.
I'll give it a 3.
Alright, next up we have a Flag Runner. 3 mana 1/6, so whenever a friendly minion dies, gain +1 attack, which is kind of similar to this Warlock card. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, it was a 1/5, and whenever you summoned a minion, it was in play with summon, I'm pretty sure, you got +1 attack on that minion, and that was played in the zoo. And at that time, I think it was very powerful in the zoo.
So big.
Darkshire Consoleman, I think.
Yeah. That card was pretty scary, as far as I remember. Of course, the game has changed quite a lot, and the power level is a lot higher. But Darkshire's Councilman was a scary card. at least at that point of the game.
Yeah, there was like, but then again, it had better combos because they had like Forbidden Words and like Juggler, and it synergized off, like all the tokens synergized very,
Yeah.
very well. And I think was Implosion in the game at that time as well. I don't remember
I
if
don't
that
think Implosion was in, but Forbidden Words was in.
yeah,
And but yeah, the
that
whole deck
combo was just so
synergized kind
good.
of better by itself. Also, Zoo had like there wasn't emulation aura and stuff like this in the game, you know.
If you play this on 3, it pretty much sticks, right? Like most decks can kill this on
Yeah,
curve.
yeah.
And then if you look at the next card, which seems good to me, they kind
Yeah.
of work pretty well together. So it already has 3 attacks. If you already had minions on the board, it like I don't know, it feels like this.
Like you can never clear. Like, you can almost never clear this first before you clear the other minions. So it just becomes like a huge pain to clear the DH board as well, and like it doesn't even have to like gain the attack the turn it's played. Honestly, if you're aggro.
I mean, if it makes
I
the
think
other
it's
minions
fantastic.
stick, it's pretty good because if you have payoff cards like the one that we just looked at, like it becomes kind of awkward. You have to decide what you clear, and you might not be like you might be able to clear everything else, but not this one, and then you still get punished. I do like this one.
I feel like this sort of style of card in general, like that relies on trading in minions, it's never been good so far because like you're sort of an aggro deck, but you have to make trades in order for your cards to be good, and that's not what you want to do. But now I feel I'm looking at this. I mean, we'll get to it later. The new Demon Hunter hero card, and it seems potentially just a build around card with all these new cards. I think it could be pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, has there ever been a payoff like this giant for trading off your minions?
No, that's another
In
one.
the dungeons, I go deeper. My name's Carter Creeper.
Yeah, right.
That card was broken.
But that also worked on your opponent's minions.
But that was, of course, only as long as the card was in hand, right?
Yes.
Carter Creeper got it only discounted while it's in hand. But yeah,
that's true actually.
7 wasn't such a big ask, especially in the meta where everybody was playing Patches the Pirate, and they were just shooting in each other's face, and then it was already 5.
I believe in this whole aggro token style of Demon Hunter. Skull is still a good card, and
I don't really see it being an aggro deck. I see it being just a kind of mid-range deck that just uses the. Like, if you look at the hero, I mean, I don't want to skip ahead. If you look at the hero,
yeah, I mean, it's yeah. We should probably look at the hero a little bit as well, because yeah, it has a lot of implications. So it's yeah, we can just kind of skip ahead to the hero. I'll give the Flag Runner a 3 from me, and then I think we'll skip ahead to the hero, and then we can resume the whole thing. Yeah.
So I'm giving it a 4. I think, well, like, I think it'll be a strong DH deck, and it's always gonna have 2 of. So.
Sure.
Next card, flanking, or are we going to hero power?
No, I was gonna go to the hero, but I was also gonna say, if we're giving this thing numbers, so what are we saying? 1 is garbage, 2 is like what, fringe playable?
It says on the spreadsheet.
3 is a good card, and 4 is OP, or what? No, 4 is.
3 is playable, 4 is powerful. That's what it says on the spreadsheet.
Do we have anything for cards we think are completely busted? Just giving them a 4 as well, right, and then move on.
For me, 4 would be like a garrote, so a card like that makes an archetype.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this card's gonna be key in that archetype. Like, people are just gonna get hit by a lot.
Okay, so it's 6 mana hero, which gives you summon 2 1/4 Demon Bush Rush, which are improved by your hero attacks this game. So Usually they're 1/4 with rush. I don't understand how they are improved though.
I think their attack gets improved.
Their attacks, yeah.
It says
Normally.
here /4 demons with rush. Okay, so whenever you attack with your hero, you make it a 2 or 3. Okay, so they just become bigger and they have rush.
Are we sure that it's not if you gain, like, if you attack for 2, they increase by 2? Seems unlikely, but it doesn't specify.
It's like, I think each time you attack, but by +1 probably.
I would think
Right.
so, yeah.
It's just per swing, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
this also works well with the 5 mana weapon, I guess. And another card that makes the 1 mana weapon better. So maybe it's like so important to equip a weapon on 1 for this deck that you want to have like more than 2 in your deck.
I mean, what I'm most spooked out by is this hero power.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
1 mana +2 attack this turn. After a friendly minion attacks, refresh this. Like,
I mean, 1 mana +2 is already a pretty good upgrade, right? And then it gets even better if
I mean,
stuff happens.
like a lot of the other heroes in the set have like more
Like, I
powerful
think
hero powers, but
all these hero cards are, besides one of them that I didn't think was that good, are all like insanely busted, broken, like ridiculous. Draw them. It's like I feel like you draw them and you win the game type.
Yeah, maybe.
maybe.
I feel like this one has everything: good hero power and a strong Battlecry, and it's also pretty cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this card a lot. I was gonna give it a 4. I feel like if you can play this and you play anything that plays rush minions, if you're like an aggro deck with a finisher and you get to bonk your opponent in the head for potentially 8 for 4 mana or something like that, that's completely ridiculous. It's so hard to interact with, other than with taunt minions.
I think maybe we're overrating the hero power a little. Like it's 1 mana for 2 damage, but like you have to, like, if you're gonna deal a lot of damage, you got to spend a lot of mana to do it, and then also the turn you play this, like I guess you have the rush minions, but you might fall a little bit far behind. Like the best way to use the hero power is just you have a bunch of minions on board and you just get like 10 free damage.
I don't think you fall behind playing this card though. I feel like this feels like the druid hero back then, except just better.
Yeah,
You know, it's like the poisonous, except this has rush. It's 6 mana, and the hero power is even better. Well, yeah.
You don't fall that far behind. It's just
I don't even think you fall behind at all when you play this card.
Yeah,
I think about this.
Probably pull ahead when you do it.
Yeah, exactly. You play this and then
maybe
they're like probably like 2, 3, 4 rushes for 6 mana on average.
I was just thinking about the 5 mana guy that ate one of your own minions and then you have 2 4/4 rushes on the board. No idea. Faceless Corruptor or Mini, whatever it was called. Some faceless card, and that card was pretty good for board control. I don't know.
I'm just thinking of the old aggro demon hunter. Like they just were pretty much always ahead on board, and then they had to play Skull on 6. And now they can also play this on 6.
Yeah.
Which would be stronger than a Skull, I think.
Wait, is there card in the game that makes your hero power 1 cheaper still?
Yeah, the 2/3.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about expandable thing and that card, which is a 9 mana combo. I think this deck will just kill faster on average, so that it doesn't really want to run this expensive spell.
Wait, no, that card isn't in the game anymore, is it?
It is.
It is. So is expendable performers.
It's a 2-drop.
I mean, it's a 4, right?
Yeah. Well, I was just looking through the card library and it wasn't showing it for me.
Yeah, it is showing for standard cards if you filter for me.
Like, I want to give the 1 mana weapon a 3 now after I've seen all these cards, because it's a curve deck, and I feel like if you have your weapon on 1 and the 2-drop on 2, then you just win most games. because
Maybe.
it scales so well.
Yeah, probably.
I feel
agree.
like the extra durability on True Aim is very good, and the effect can be useful too.
I think when you have like Curtis and then you have this weapon and you sometimes need to get through a taunt, it becomes pretty solid.
Oh yeah, it works pretty well with the hero power, the upgraded hero power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll
I-
hit honorable kills.
Like, I think you will just run 4 1-mana weapons, just so that you always have 1-on-1.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Alright, okay. We'll go back to flanking maneuver then. So 4 mana, summon a 4/2 demon with rush. If it dies this turn, summon another.
A lot of rush for 4 mana.
Yeah. But
Remember the warrior 3 attack rusher that had reborn?
Restless Mummy.
The restless mummy. Yeah. I mean, this is just more stats.
Yeah.
Unless you play it on an empty board, or if you can't trade it off,
Right.
then it's a lot worse.
Right.
It's more similar to Flanking Strike, I would say.
It's way better than Flanking Strike, right?
Yeah. Flanking strike
yeah,
deals
it
3
is.
and this can deal up to 8 damage.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I
pretty
think
much
it's a good card. I'll give it a 3. Just good removal. Like Demon Hunter also in other archetypes always lacks hard removal. Like something like a giant is always a problem for Demon Hunter. They can just
Yeah, you
play
can
this.
like let's say they have like a full board of 1/1s. Like in the mirror, if they have 2 1/1s, you can like value trade twice. You have 2 4/1s, and then
No, it
another
needs
4/2.
to die to summon the other one, right? The
It's
first
whatever
one needs
you
to
rush
die.
into dies, right? If it dies this turn.
Oh, I thought the demon
Wait,
needs
no,
to
no,
die.
it's not. I guess this needs to die. I guess, right?
Yeah, the demon needs to die.
Okay, yeah. Oh, never mind then.
I
yeah.
mean, that would be better,
I
but
mean, it's still insane.
still good for me. Yeah.
okay.
Giving this a 4.
I'll give it a 3.
A 3 for me. Yeah.
I think this will also be good in like other Demon Hunter decks, like
Yeah.
if there's like a mid-range Demon Hunter or like or
Big
even
Demon Hunter.
yeah, big Demon Hunter for sure runs it. And then if there's like I don't know, like this might even be fine in OTK DH. Because this can clear like a huge board. This can clear
Can clear
multiple
another
big
run.
minions, right? Can't this clear isn't this just a board clear? If someone has like a wait. Does this go infinite? It doesn't.
No,
right?
no, it
only
doesn't,
does twice. Okay, never mind. I thought this was gonna go infinite for some reason.
It becomes
No.
better the more you look at the text.
Yeah, my bad.
Alright.
I thought the demon itself would have it if it dies, summon another as well.
It seems to be a really good follow-up to Flag Runner as well. Like
Yeah.
on 3 Flag Runner, on 4 Flanking Maneuver.
Alright, next up, Warden of Chains. Taunt, Battlecry. If you're holding a demon that costs 5 or more, gain +1/+2. So it's a 2/6 with Taunt, and if you hold a big demon, it's
3/8.
3/8 with Taunt.
I'm just gonna say this is unplayable. I don't believe
Yeah, I
I
think that's
don't
terrible.
believe in it either.
it's a lot of stats, but who cares?
This is like
really?
the dragon card, like the 4-mana 3/6 dragon.
Yeah, but that had synergy itself with the other cards in your deck.
I mean, this card only makes
Wait,
sense if you also play Bladed Lady, which is the card that doesn't theoretically cost 6 mana, but doesn't really cost 6 mana. Like, you have this in your hand, you can play this, and if you gain attack the turn after, you can play Bladed Lady. And then you have more big minions. I don't think you actually want to play this together with big minions.
This seems like they printed this so that when you play big demons, you have to do something in the mid game. And it reminds me a bit of that lifesteal Taunt that you could corrupt, and that also looked really good on paper, but in
Mhm.
reality, it's just not something you want to do. Play
Yeah.
like minion.
Okay. I'm just gonna move on because otherwise we're
Yeah.
gonna be here forever. Next up, Sigil of
Why
Reckoning. At the
not?
start of your next turn, summon a random demon from your hand. It's like Skull, but it only lasts one turn and you cannot interact with it.
Mhm.
Wait, what's Skull?
Skull of the Minari.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it only lasts one turn. And you don't have Doomguard. But you have Green Rag, I guess.
I thought maybe you can run FelDH with this and Green Rack and Philosophy, do something like that.
And people already been doing that a little bit with the new 4 mana with the
What's
4
that
mana
do?
Alliance card. That makes
Oh,
all your you play the Alliance card and then Green Rag costs 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Seems very slow.
true.
The only like really good payoff is probably Pick Commander.
Green Rag is also insane, I think.
Yeah.
I think Green Rag is like good enough payoff.
I think I like this card.
It just depends on how many demons do you have to run in your deck for this to be good enough.
There is this 6 mana 6/3 that you want to run, but it's just bad and slow. And this comes down a turn earlier, and you don't need to have a weapon for it to work.
I guess.
Or wait till off the minion.
8/3? The
8/3, yeah, right, that one. Because when you tried to build that deck, you were playing the true aim and trying to kill it off in the turn you played it, and it was always really awkward. Now, just turn 5, you set it up, and you get the payoff next turn guaranteed if you have the demon in hand.
Mhm.
I mean, the Tormentor, the 8 mana guy that makes every spell +2, that card is also not that bad.
Yeah, it could be good depending on the meta game.
Like in this meta game, for example, if you could cheat that card out, it's pretty annoying for a lot of decks.
It's pretty good to snipe combo players with.
Yeah, but a
What
lot
do
of
you,
ladders actually is
What do you follow this up with? Do you like do do we run like a card like Faceless Manipulator?
You can run the
In this
new
curve?
spell, the dual spell.
What's the duo spell?
It's a 6
2
mana spell that pulls 2 demons from your deck and they fight each
no,
other.
2 minions. It's not demons.
2 minions.
The only problem
Yeah.
with that is if you run to the demons you want to run, they're all exactly the same size. So you might summon 2 demons and they make the kiss and then they're both dead.
Yeah.
You'd
I
have
don't know.
to run that card. You'd have to run like a lot of things like Pick Commander that have less attack than health, right?
Yeah, but you
Otherwise,
also want to run like the
terrible.
10 mana elemental that spawns another elemental. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, this only really, in my opinion, goes into the Fel DH into the Fel DH deck where you run only Fel spells and then you run big demons. I saw Duri Winner play it. He uses it only to snipe people, but I tried it a little bit myself. It's not a mega terrible deck by itself, actually.
Do you play
Oh, go ahead.
do you play like Faceless Manipulator and then you have to get the hero
No.
power?
You just play Fel spells because with Fel spells you can try to beat aggro. But that was my problem. The deck doesn't really beat aggro. At least in its current state. If you have like better spells, it might start doing so. And then you run big stuff, which is supposed to beat like Anaconda Druid and Mozaki Mage and what is it? Fatigue Lock, like these kind of decks. But like I felt like it doesn't really beat aggro and it doesn't really beat Fatigue Lock. It only really beats people that align you, and then everything is you play Tormentor and then you clap. But I don't know. This feels like super meta dependent. I'm not the greatest fan.
Yeah, I don't like this that much, personally.
Yeah, I just don't believe in the big DH archetype in general. So
I give it a 4.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2. I'll just move on to legendary. 6 mana, 6/6 carrier, Fell Soul. Battlecry transform into a 6/6 copy of a demon in your deck. Alright, this also kind of leans into this big demon archetype, because this with Pit Commander pretty good. I guess this is like, even this as a Tormentor would be good because you play a lot of those for the effect. I don't know. It's just like an earlier combination of a green rag. So seems okay to me. But like only if you believe in the big demon archetype. So I probably think the card is okay, but it doesn't let you cheat it out with other demon cheapening effects. So I'm just gonna give it a 2.
Yeah. If you
3.
hit Pit Commander, it's really good, but if you're running a Pit Commander deck, you have to run other demons, so...
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
other...
The scary thing is that I feel like the new cards, honestly, just the hero can make the deck pretty solid, just because you can run a bunch of like board clears and then play the hero and then stabilize.
But you can already do that with Jace. You already play a bunch of board clears and only Jace and then the big demons. And it's like, I feel like it's like borderline playable right now. But I think what it is lacking is, even though Demon Hunter has a lot of that in the cheap mana range, it's like the removal isn't as good as I would have expected. It's just like one of your biggest healing tools is Fellscream Blast, and if you can't pair that with cheap minions, then it's like it's looking kind of bad. But maybe you can run some spell power stuff. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't like it too much. I'm gonna give it a 2. And
I think this is the worst of some the new cards and legendaries. I think this is like, this doesn't really improve the deck that much, personally.
I'll give it a 2. If you hit like, I mean, even just hitting a Tormentor sometimes is not too bad.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
put a 3 for me.
Vira believes a little bit more in the big stuff.
Yep.
Then with the hero we already have covered. Then the last card is Ursal Giant, which is
What did you say for this card? 3 or Bunny?
I give it a 2. The carrier. Just not the biggest believer in the big archetype, and even in the big archetype, I don't think it's the best card. So. But Ursula Giant, 13 mana, 8/8, costs 1 less for each friendly minion that died.
What turn does this come down? What do we think? Turn 5?
I mean, turn 5 maybe.
Seems optimistic though. Like
Yeah, I think it's
8
turn 6.
minions.
Turn
I
6.
think turn 6, but it can get better. Like turn 7 it might cost like 0, like in one turn.
It's so
like
insane with philosophy.
We could think about like the ideal curve for this mid-rangey token Demon Hunter deck. So you play a weapon 1, like you play the 2-drop that discounts this by 3 at least.
Yeah, so it's a 10.
Yeah, and then like where do you go from there? I guess you could run like Coordinated Strike, or maybe there's some Death Rattle-y stuff you could run.
I guess it works really well with the Death Rattles, cause they all, like, you play the 3/2, it pulls
I think
cards that die.
I don't think you can actually play this like when you have a board. I think it's when your board dies, like everything dies, and then you can play this, right? So you're never gonna be able to tempo this. It's like